Now, of course, one of the very common, I think, misconceptions of your work among some of the writers of America have been that they have sort of characterized your discussions of introversion and extroversion as suggesting that the world was made up of only two kinds of people, introverts on one hand and extroverts on the other. Would you like to comment about that?
Bismarck once said, God may protect me against my friends. With my enemies, I can deal myself alone. We know how people are. They catch a word, and then everything is schematized along that word. There is no such thing as a pure extrovert or a pure introvert. Such a man would be the lunatic asylum. Those are only terms to designate a certain penchant, a certain tendency, versus the tendency to be more influenced by environmental influences or more influenced by the subjective type. That's all. And you see, there are people who are very well balanced and are just as much influenced from within as they are from without, just as they do. And so with all the final classifications, they are only a sort of point de repère, points for orientation. My whole scheme of typology is merely a sort of orientation. Namely, there is such a factor as introversion, there is such a factor as extroversion. The classification of individuals means nothing at all. This is only the instrumentarium for the practical psychologists to explain, for instance, a husband to a wife or vice versa. For instance, it is very often the case, one could almost say, it is almost the rule, but I don't want to make too many rules in order not to be schematic, that an introvert marries an extrovert for compensation, or another type marries the counter type to complement himself, for instance.
Dr. Jung, of course, tied in with your typology and quotation marks of introversion and extroversion, we first know of your concepts of thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. And, of course, we'd be very interested to hear some expansion of the meaning of these particular terms as related to the introvert-extrovert dichotomy.
Well, there is quite a simple explanation of these terms, and it shows at the same time how I arrived at such a typology. Namely, the sensation tells you that there is something. Thinking, roughly speaking, tells you what it is. Feeling tells you whether it is agreeable or not, to be accepted or not, accepted or rejected. And intuition now there is a difficulty. You don't know ordinarily how intuition works. So when a man has a hunch, you can't tell exactly how he got at that hunch or where that hunch comes from.